Okay, we're continuing on with the Lawson project here. I've completely disassembled it, and this is the DeLaval model VW milking machine engine, and it's a model VW, and I added suffix PC for problem child. This is a project. There's really no place to begin. I was going to begin with some kind of a part that doesn't need fixed, but quickly found out that that's not the case. So anyway, got the parts laying out here. The cylinder head, I couldn't get the spark plug to screw in all the way. So when I was running the engine, so once I got the head off and apart, pulled the valves out here just to take a look, found out that the bottom half of a spark plug is broke off in the bore there where the spark plug hole is. And you flip this head over, take a gander down in here, you couldn't get the plug in it all the way. Well, no wonder. So I'm going to have to fix that. The head otherwise looks okay. The valve guide, top valve guide here is broke off, which is typical to most of the rest of the stuff's going on with this engine. Here's the top of the governor housing. Seems to be okay. I did not take this gear apart yet. I'm sure there's an issue or two in there I'll have to deal with, but I haven't gotten that far yet. The flywheel popped right off, and as I mentioned, the bearings in it were noisy, which was the main reason to come in. Main reason to go into this engine was noisy bearings, and as you can see on the races there, lots of pitting. The thing is set for a period of time and gotten rusty, and that's what happens to roller bearings. There's a beautiful tank. Pulley is not too bad. Good shape on the pulley. There's the old rockers that come off of it the other day. And over here we've got the crankshaft. Here's the bearings. Pitting. These things just roared when I was running the engine. The engine finally got it running, and ran halfway decent, aside from the amount of noise coming out of the roller bearings and the low compression. It was hard to start. The piston rings, you could shave with the edges of them, but I haven't pulled them off to stick them in the bore. It's all moot now, but I was going to stick them in the bore and look at the gap. But the gears, looks like somebody has thrown a small compact car through the gears here. But they're still functional. I'm going to use them. There's some chips here and there, but the governor housing, here's the cam. Looks like somebody used a set of vice grips there to turn the cam with. It may have been stuck at one time. Lots of pitting on the lobes, and but it was running, and I'm going to try to get it running again. Here's the flyweights inside the governor housing. They fly out and lift that pin and slow the engine down when needed and speed it up when needed. The followers, cam followers. This one's not too bad. Got to comparing it with the other one though, and it's been manufactured. It's been homemade. The edges here are ground off, and I don't know if somebody has welded a new head on the old stem or not. The stem doesn't match here. The the opening, the chamfer inside there don't match. The height is a little different. That's why I'm having a little trouble with the valve. Was having a little bit of trouble with the valve adjustment, but you know, I worked through that okay. There's the other race. It doesn't look too bad, but it's getting replaced anyway, of course. And I'll get those pulled out of there. And then we come to the bore, where we find the usual problem in these old engines. I don't know if we can get a camera on that or get that to focus. But looks like about the top quarter of the bore has been rusty and is pitted. So that means nothing more than a sleeve job. I'm going to look into a sleeve job for this engine, see what that might cost, and go from there. The engine has a weld repair, but and up here on the top of the deck, but it's not too bad. It probably doesn't look real good on the camera there, but looking at it live here, it can be dealt with. It wasn't leaking, it was full of water, so we're good there. But boy, she's a mess. And let's step over to the base here, and it's probably thrown a rod at some time in its life, and this oil dipper pan here has been welded back together. And it just goes on and on and on with the repairs on this engine. My gosh, this thing literally, I think, is like a cat. And I'm probably working on its 9th life, trying to save its 9th life right now. Here is the oil level gauge. Nothing more than a cork that floats in the oil. And here's the oil pump. The cam actuates the oil pump, and it pumps oil up through this tube and floods this pan here. And then the rod dipper comes in and slings it to lubricate the engine. And it's got the usual 1/2 inch of sludge in the bottom. Looks like Quaker steak. But anyway, gotta clean that out. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with this engine. So anyway, we'll continue here. We'll update as more information becomes available. My next project is to locate bearings and possibly seals. It's got old felt seals in it. A sleeve and rings, or possibly a better option would be an oversized piston. I don't know if that'll be available or not, but the parts search begins at this point. The piston is just a typical piston. I know some of these used Model A parts in them, but I don't see any Ford markings on this rod. But I haven't completely gotten it clean yet either, so we'll see. But if an oversized piston could be found, that would be an easier option than sleeving, but sleeving's not a problem either. So we'll update as more becomes available. Thanks for watching.